Wow. So you say that you have to change the whole culture of policing. So to extend your metaphor, would you say that citizen-led policing would be the equivalent of changing the soil, that we're starting over again? And is that accurate, what I just said?
Exactly. We have to fundamentally restart what policing is. So on my pin tweet, if somebody wants to look me up on Twitter, it's at Michael A. Wood Jr., just the JRs Jr. And that's my pin tweet. And that's a quick social media version of the See What Civilian-Led Policing model is that I developed. I'm a scholar and scientist first. I just happen to have been a cop. So what I'm talking about doing with that is modern policing. It has always been we will tell you what to do because we're the experts. So we're in charge. This is what policing will do, and we know that in policing, in its history, everything we know about it is we're going to recapture slaves, we're going to protect white property, and we're going to continue the genocide of the Native American people. That's what continues to go. So that's why we still are talking about things like broken windows. The FBI director is talking about broken windows as being a logical thing, or the Ferguson effect, how we went over that. That is completely against everything that is known in all of criminal justice and science. So these leaders, the top of the chains, have absolutely no idea what they're talking about in the sciences of how to actually structure these things. So who they serve, policing in this model serves like a mayor and a few elite people as an oligarchy. And then they are told, oh, you can choose between us few people what kind of policing you will get. One is overtly against Black people, and the other one is covertly against Black people, just the way Republicans and Democrats are. It's the same shit show.
Well,
So
Michael, can I
when we
just break in?
have
Michael, can I just break in for a
yeah, yeah,
second
yeah, yeah, go ahead.
and get your idea?
Mhm.
Because everyone was outraged and flummoxed that Trump would want to start doing stop and frisk nationwide. Everybody was like horrified that but nobody seemed to be horrified when they were doing it in New York City to Black and brown people. In fact, Hillary Clinton brought the billionaire who instituted that policy against poor Black and brown people in his own city. They brought him on stage at the Democratic convention as a success story, as this guy's a good one. He's a good Republican, and here he is. He actually did the thing that Trump only suggested they do. Now, what do you think about that?
Yeah, so you're absolutely right. Of course, that's the continued perpetration of this lie of police telling you what they will do. I mean, so this stop and frisk is just empirically racially unjust. It goes after the poorest of people. It is completely ineffective. In Baltimore, when they the criminal justice report, and you're talking about a guy getting stopped 30 times, that's 30 documented times by the Baltimore Police Department. I'm telling you personally, we are lucky if I documented 10% of the stops. I'm not even going to go that far. I'm giving myself every benefit of the doubt possible that I documented 10% of the stops. That's normal. I probably did better paperwork than everyone else around me. So that means that that guy was stopped approximately 300 times at minimum in that few year period, and this still had nothing on him and didn't get arrested. So these things sow this injustice throughout the community, and then you have leaders like Bratton and everyone else still pushing these ideas. And that's why I get so frustrated when you hear me on Twitter. It sounds like I'm being aggressive, but we have people that are even considered experts talking about solutions that just counter everything we know.
So again, so your solution would be to start with citizen-led policing. What does that look like?
Right. So an easy way to conceptualize this is I am a business management trained person. That is, I did that on purpose because I recognized that in policing, there was no management skills. So I was going to figure out how to do this from a trained management perspective. And
Okay,
that's
I
what
get it.
leads us to these.
You're not a dumb cop. Okay, Michael, we get it. You're a scientist. All right. Congratulations.
Okay.
Mommy's little boy's all grown up. All right, go ahead. Go ahead, Smart. I got
Okay.
Mr. Smarty Pants on the phone here. Go ahead, Michael.
Did that make you feel better, Jimmy?
Yes, it did. Because I'm dumb. I went to
Okay.
state
All right.
school. I went to state school, and I don't feel comfortable interviewing a cop I'm dumber than.
You're at the I just read more of this specific area of research.
Okay,
So
so go ahead.
think of this more as think of this more as a CEO to board relationship. And that means that we have to have a board of citizens from the city who actually tell us what policing is. My role as the police commissioner should not be to tell you what I'm going to do. I will provide all the information I can to you, but this is your city, it's your police department. There's no way for me to serve you unless I'm literally serving you, which means I have to follow the rules of a citizen board, not the rules of a mayor and a few elite people that have only 4-year visions. So the strongest correlate in violent crime reduction that is in all of science is lead poisoning. So, but lead poisoning has a 20-year payoff. So there's no police departments in this entire country that are fighting the number one thing we know that contributes to violent crime, lead poisoning, because that's a 20-year payoff. And in a 4-year payoff system, we're never going to get there. I need to serve people that have 20, 30, 50, 100-year goals. And that means a citizen board. So think of maybe when people talk about a citizen oversight for misconduct, I still think that's wrong. That's a check and balance on that improper system. That entire board that would be overseeing misconduct, move them all the way up to the top of the chain of command. And I would serve somebody like me, would serve them as a direct citizen to citizen relationship, and the sworn police department would work for me on one side and the civilian agency of the department would work for me on the other side, is a short way.
Do you think you would have a hard time with recruitment of regular police officers? That's what people are going to say now. I have my opinion on that. What is yours?
I think they're absolutely, completely dead wrong. Another one of those group of people that have absolutely no evidence. I think the vast majority of officers on the street would love to do something like this. It ensures that they get home safely. It ensures that they're not kicking doors down, taking bullets. It ensures that they're not jacking through people's pockets, making the situation worse and being enemies to their community. I think their spouses will like it a lot more, that I'm going to get them home safely. And I fundamentally think that this is what cops want to do, because people think that the cops may be against me as like this idea of a revolutionary and police reform, but that's completely untrue. My email inbox is flooded with cops that are ready to move from anywhere and across the country to come be where I am in doing this model. So that means if we go to Oakland and they have 1,000 cops and 500 of those cops don't want to do anything with me and they're dirty, well, they can step. I know there's plenty of good cops out there ready to fill their shoes.
Oh, okay. All right. So you're saying fundamentally restructure how you run a police department. You don't listen to the quote unquote experts. You listen to the citizens and they come up with a plan of how kind of policing they want. And then they hire someone like you who will implement what they say. What if they come up with an idea you think doesn't work?
Well, see, the thing is we argue that, right? So I would already be there place. So you have 7 people. I mean, this is a bigger thing. We're going to have consultants. We'll have interest in there. There'll be observers. This is completely transparent. So when things are in the light, a lot of things work out perfectly fine. That's just what we know throughout history. So we can have apprehensions about this. We haven't done this. This is a big fat science experiment, no doubt. I cannot tell you with 100% it will work, but what I can tell you is there's absolutely no reason to believe that it wouldn't. This is what works in other business models. This is Google, this is Facebook, this is doing the same things that the millennial leaders have done in business. I'm talking about doing in law enforcement. The idea that it wouldn't work is counter to everything we know as well.
Okay, sometimes I feel like you're talking over my head, but all right, Michael.
I'm not talking over your head. It's just, I mean, so like these conversations that you and I have, and we've had a few of them. So just imagine if you went out into the street and picked 6 people, and we all sit there and we had these discussions. Do you think that the 6 of us, 7 of us would walk away saying that we were going to have our police department root through the pockets of our sons and daughters to look for dime bags of weed?
No.
There's no chance of that happening. Zero. So just by that decision alone, we would have dramatically reduced violent crime. You end the drug war, and 80% of violent crime is wiped off the board without question.
Oh, okay. Now I see. Now I'm getting a bigger vision of what you're talking about. Okay. Oh, now, okay. Now, so you really make up your own idea about police, like what's going to be enforced and what's not, and how they should interact. Wow. So you're talking about a real fundamental shift in policing. What do you give yourself on a scale of of a 1 to 100, what percentage of a chance do you see that being implemented in any major city in America?
100%.
You think it's going to
Without
happen?
doubt. I mean, yeah, it's just a matter of time. People in Chicago now have started to grasp onto the concept, and the last protest was demanding civilian-led policing. This is
Really?
only a matter of time. You cannot be occupied by your government. It can't work. It's fundamentally going to be doomed. You have to have a system that perpetually work towards abolition. You don't want a system that will create a bigger and bigger police department. That's what we have. We need a system that will create a smaller and smaller police department until with the ideological goal that it would be abolished.
All right, Michael. Well, you've certainly clarified things for me. I appreciate it. And yeah, I was because
Every time you talk to me, you kind of just you look at me like I don't know what the hell you're talking about, Mike.
well, no, I mean we had a
does it make
text.
sense?
Yes, it makes a lot more sense to me than it did today when we were texting. And by the way,
Okay.
you do get the idea that there are different time zones in America, right, Michael? You understand that, right?
But I also figure that when people don't.
If my phone goes off at 5:30 in the morning with a text, right next to my, it's fucking Michael. Because he's up at 8:30 in the morning, and he thinks the whole fucking world should be up at 8:30 in the morning Eastern time.
I mean, come on, give me some slack. I understand how wrong it is, but I assume you don't have a noise on. I don't know who leaves a notification on for text.
Well, when I go to bed, I'm usually
and I check Twitter and I see.
Well, I usually, Michael, this might shock you, Michael, but I usually take a couple of big pot rips right before I go to bed. So I'm not really thinking about the details as I'm laying down, and sometimes I forget to turn my phone off. And even if I turn it off, it's still
so what do you think?
It's still vibrates. Even if I turn it off, Michael, it still vibrates, and it goes brrr, brrr, right next to my head.
I know, but so you're asking me to empathize with you, and I'm just asking you to empathize with me. So what do you think I'm doing at 8 o'clock in the morning when I just got up?
I don't know. You're texting me.
The same thing you did the previous night with my coffee, and I'm looking through Twitter, so that's when I see it. You know?
Oh, okay. All right. That's what
That's the morning ritual, Jimmy. Come on.
See, even I can't get ripped in the morning. See, that's what happens when you get to retire when you're 35, like Michael did. You get to take bong rips at 8 in the morning. I can't do that. I have to wait till the night after work is done. All right, Michael. Thanks for being our guest.
Right.
People you can find. We'll put a link to
love you guys.
We'll put a link to his Twitter feed underneath this video. Let us know what you think about Michael's ideas, and we'll thank you very much for watching. Thanks, Michael.
Have a good night, guys.
All right, bye, buddy.